8 years ago, I would be involved in a traumatic, horrific motorcycle accident. All I know is this car pulls out in front of me, and next thing I know, I'm in the hospital. I'm in a hospital, grateful and blessed that I made it.
How long later was that?
That I found out I was in the hospital
Yeah.
a month.
Hi, I'm Kristen Brunius, and this is the Overcomers Podcast. I am so excited for you to hear the stories of incredible people overcoming trials and turning them into triumphs. From everyday moms and dads to entrepreneurs to community leaders and beyond, you'll see how everyone has a story of overcoming, and those stories are what connect us all. Let's hop right in. Hey everybody, welcome to the Overcomers Podcast. This is going to be an awesome episode. So I just finished recording with Kijuan, and you guys, this is only the second time I've ever talked to him. I always do like an intro podcast so I can get to know the guests before, unless I know them like for real and in person. And the first time I met Kijuan, I think we were on Zoom for like an hour because he has this contagious smile and personality and just joy and love for Christ. And as you'll find out in the episode, he was involved in a terrible car accident, and he woke up a month and a day after the accident, and he woke up blind. And what I love about him is, yes, he had some deep, dark moments that he'll talk about, but he just lives life to the fullest. And so I can't wait for you guys to listen. And you know what? I just realized I forgot to say, welcome to the Overcomers Podcast. I'm Kristen Brunius, so I am your host, and just super glad you're here. Do me a favor, hit the follow button so that you can be notified about new episodes. God willing, we release a new episode every Wednesday, and I know you're going to love this one. And please go back and listen. We are 50, 60 episodes into just amazing people, amazing stories, and each one is so special to me. And just a reminder, this podcast is self-sponsored, and I came bearing gifts this week. So this just came in the mail, and I wanted to come and show you guys this. So this is a new offering that we have. It is a sample pack that comes with 7 of our top selling drinks. And so here you'll see a QR code to find out more information about each and every one of them. And it comes in this beautiful package with 2 things of the complete chocolate and vanilla. I'm actually just so happy to be drinking the chocolate right now. And then the collagen couture and lots of other ones are in here as well. But the best part about it is the package itself is $14.95, but inside, let's see if the camera can catch this, it comes with a $15 off code. So in other words, this package, which is $14.95, free shipping, you get the $15 off code, which basically means it's free. And this is a great opportunity for you to try and to support the podcast through this sampler pack. Go check it out at soulnaturals.com/Kristen. Click on bestsellers. It should be the first one there. It is called the sampler pack. And go check it out at soulnaturals.com. As you see, I think the camera shows it backwards, but it is SOLLE. Let's hop into the episode. I know you're going to love it. So this week we have Kijuan Amey with us from North Carolina. So welcome, Kijuan. Happy to have you here. And I was just telling him before we got started, just, what a blessing he is. He just is so joyful, so positive, so motivating. This is only the second time we've talked, and I'm like, I could just bottle you up. You're just, you're funny, and you're just a joy to be around. So thank you for being here. Thank you for being willing to tell your story. And it's a good one. So strap in, guys. Maybe grab some tissues, because you might cry a little bit. So Kijuan, where do you want to get started?
First off, let me start by saying, Kristen, excuse me. I truly appreciate you having me on your podcast. and allowing me to share my story, and for thinking that I'm funny because my walls don't tell me that. I'm telling you now. I talk to them all the time. They do not tell me that.
If
So
walls could talk, they would.
if they could talk, I don't know if you want to hear the stories.
This is true. This is true.
But yes, no, I truly appreciate you having me. And, where we will start is where I was, So, as we say in the military, so there I was. Um, 25 years old in the Air Force Reserves as an in-flight refueling specialist. And that's where you refuel planes in midair, just to give people a little insight on what that might
Super
sound like.
scary.
Yeah. You gotta have, that brain to steel is listen, it was not easy. I went to school for a whole year. So it wasn't like, hey, you're fresh out of boot camp, go fly. No, I didn't touch a plane for another, I don't know, 3 or 4 months after boot camp. So no, it might have been longer than that because I had to go through schooling too. My initial schoolhouse part where you learn stuff. And so it might have even been longer than that. All I know is it took me a full year to get done before I even saw my first duty station. And so for those who need a little bit of imagery of what that might be, think of a flying gas station, basically. That's literally what it is, a flying gas station for military only aircraft to pull up to. You will not see a Delta airplane flying up to us. Yeah, American Airlines, United, no, they're not coming. And if they do, they are in the wrong spot. I wouldn't be surprised if that was like a former Air Force person who did something like that. But anyway, that was so amazing. And I did, on paper, shall I say, I did that for a decade. And the reason I say on paper is because I had a motorcycle accident May 5th, 2017, where that would have been like my 6.5 year mark. But it also was a moment in time where everything changed for me. Everything completely, and as I tell a lot of people, May 5th is Cinco de Mayo for some. For me, it's my new life journey. Why do I say that? It's because on that day, I had to make a pivot because if I would have still kept holding on to everything before that, at that 25 years that I was already at, I would not be able to function the way I should. I would probably be on drugs, alcohol, worse, who knows, could be, in a graveyard somewhere because that would have took me out of here trying to hold on to the past. Now, I'm not saying you can't remember it, but trying to hold on to it is a whole nother story, you know? And so let's get to what happened. Well, May 5th, again, 2017, 8 years ago, I would be involved in a traumatic, horrific motorcycle accident. Um, I would be coming from actually a great place though. Like when what I mean by that is, I know you're a faith believer, so am I. I was actually coming from my church and I went to the lake in North Carolina here called Jordan Lake. And I went there and what I always do when I go there is just kind of like meditate, and be at peace. Just sit there and think about things, whether it's business related, whether it's Air Force related, whether it's my relationships, personal, God related, whatever they are, I'm just thinking. Um, and then I was like, wait a minute, I gotta go to work because I actually had to work for the Air Force that night. And so I was like, oh shoot, I gotta go. I looked at my watch because in the military, I always wore a wristwatch because, as most people would know, the military is very strict when it comes to time.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit, nothing crazy. They wouldn't get you in trouble or nothing. Uh, and so I took off on the bike because that's what I was riding at the time. And on this particular road that I was on, Highway 751, The speed limit was set 55. That was the speed limit. Um, the thing about this road, though, it's like country area, so a bunch of woods, trees, all this stuff, and it's only 2 lanes. The lane that I'm in and the lane where traffic is coming past me. Uh, and as I mentioned before, those trees, they're really tall. You can see from my book cover. You remember the book cover? Those trees are pretty tall, and they were all along these roads.
I'm
The
holding it
only
up for people to see. This
Oh,
is his
okay, yeah,
book.
yeah.
Yeah.
Don't focus on why me from motorcycle accident to miracle.
Yeah.
And by the way, that is my bike.
Is it?
That was
I didn't realize.
Yeah, that was my actual bike.
Hmm.
I used to do photography, so I took pictures of it one day, and I gave the cover designer that picture, and he stitched those two together because that's the actual lake that I was leaving from.
Oh, really?
That is the actual spot that I had just left before my accident.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. Crazy, right? And
Yeah.
so, anywho, the only time these tall trees that y'all just saw, are cut back from the road are at a driveway, because people did actually live off of this highway, at an intersection, this really sketchy gas station. The only time you're gonna stop is if the light is on and your engine is just like literally coughing. And then there was a produce farm. So that shows you I was truly in the woods. It was a produce farm back there. And so what am I getting at? There's visibility where there needs to be. And so as I'm approaching this intersection, I'm just cruising along just fine, as I normally would. Because again, this is not my first, not my second, not even my third time going to this area at the lake. I always went there when I needed to just relax. And so I'm cruising. I got my helmet on with my music playing through my Bluetooth, because I had Bluetooth capability in my helmet. And I'm probably listening, at that time, to Bruno Mars. I like to listen to some pop music as well. And that was when his 24 Karat Magic CD had came out. And that was like top charts, you know, no joke, top charts. And so I'm listening to it, and out comes a silver Honda Accord in front of me. Now, as much as people think these little bikes can just stop whenever they want to, it's not the case. And if it does stop, the rider is not going to be on it. Okay, let me break that down for you. So with the first part, if you stop, I'll give you 2 reasons why that bike's going to stop, and it's not a good idea. The first one, you press that front handbrake, and the front brake locks up. I don't know if anybody's ever, rode a bicycle before and you you lock that front handbrake, but it tends to go forward.
And so do
Mo-
you.
Motorcycles do the same thing. That brake is that strong to lift that bike up.
Hmm.
And so you're going off. You're not going to be like, oh, let me hold on tight. No, it doesn't matter. The bike is going to flip. And so that's scenario one. The second way that bike is going to stop on a dime is if you lay it down. And even then, it's not stopping. It's going to catch somewhere and flip, take off in the sky once you let it go. So nothing looks good. And then the other thing is like, well, maybe if he took those motorcycle riding courses, well, I did, because the military required it. Not they said, hey, you should probably take. No, no, no. They required you to take it before you got it. And rightfully so. I think it's a great idea that you should take a motorcycle rider safety course. They offer the basic and the advanced ones. I think you should take both. And they're teaching you all this stuff, like how to stop on a dime, or not really on a dime, but abruptly, how to stop abruptly, um, how to do like, maneuvers, really quick maneuvers, how to do figure eights, like literally a figure eight on a motorcycle. It's tough because you're trying your best not to fall over when you're doing this. And
But none
the
of this matters if there's nowhere for you to go, right?
well, so here's what I'm getting at. Is they're teaching you all of this stuff in a parking lot.
True.
I'm not going at parking lot speed. I just told you all I was doing 55 miles an hour.
Uh-huh.
Tell me what time I had to think.
Right, right.
That's the other thing. You got to process this. Where do I go? you know, and I just all I know is this car pulls out in front of me, and next thing I know, I'm in the hospital.
Hmm.
I'm in a hospital, um, grateful and blessed that I made it.
How long later was that?
That I found out I was in the hospital
Yeah.
a month.
Oh.
I woke up June the 6th from my medically induced coma.
And this was Cinco de Mayo, so this was May
Yeah,
5th.
yeah.
Whew.
May 5th until June the 6th. I was in a medically induced coma, countless surgeries, recovery, whatever you could think of. They brought me into the ICU. As I think I put it in my book. I had that accident somewhere around 2 p.m. that day. My mom does not find out until 10 that night.
Oh, gosh.
And I wrote this in my book. If your address on your license is not up to date, please update it.
Hmm.
Oh, why do you ask? I'm so glad you asked. You're so nice. Um, it's because they sent a police cruiser from Chatham County in North Carolina all the way to Wayne County in Goldsboro near the base. I lived in Durham County, which was like at the time from probably where I was, 15 to 20 minutes from Chatham County. Well, Wayne County is about an hour and a half.
Oh, wow.
You get why I'm saying now you know where I'm coming with it.
All
Okay.
that wasted time.
But now they're trying to so nobody knows me at that location, that address they went to. Because I didn't live there. And the roommate that I had, he was already gone. And so this person's probably like, I don't know who you're talking about. Like, they looked in my wallet and noticed that I had a military ID. The apartment that I stayed in, literally, you could look through the trees and see the base's runway. So they're like, he probably go to this. This is probably the base he was at. So let's just go over here and, ask on the post what if they notice this airman, if he's stationed here or whatever. And so they did. And then that is how they got in touch with my chain of command. This is still not my mom yet. This is my chain of command. They're still searching every which way they can. They get a hold of my chain of command. Yeah, that's one of our airmen. Okay, well, he's been in a terrible accident. He's in the ICU at Chapel Hill, North Carolina, at UNC hospital. And they're like, what? And yeah. So if you have any contact information for his family, we greatly appreciate it. Or you guys can call him, but we still have to talk to him eventually because it's been an accident. And
Unbelievable.
yeah, and so eventually they get in contact with my mom. My mother and my stepdad are literally just pushing the grocery cart at Walmart. Just getting in there. I don't even know if they've got anything in the basket yet. And she's receiving a phone call from my chain of command or one of the police officers. And she's like, who is this? And it was a Goldsboro number. She's like, must be somebody from the base. And so she answered, hello? And they're like, hey, is this Kijuan Amey's mother? Like, yes. He's like, well, ma'am, your son has been involved in a motorcycle accident, and he is currently in critical condition at UNC Hospital, and you should probably get over there soon."
Oh, could you imagine getting that phone call?
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
And she couldn't either because she doesn't it, her brain is just like what you were talking about before we got recorded with the plane ride.
Mhm.
All you want to do is protect your babies.
Mhm.
That's all she wanted to do.
Yeah, exactly.
She doesn't say nothing to I'm sorry to laugh about this, but she told me the story and they were talking about it. She doesn't say anything to my stepfather. She just takes off running.
Oh, goodness. He's probably like, "What the heck?"
Exactly. He's like, "Hey, where you going?" She's
"Come
like,
back here, woman."
she's like, "Come on, we gotta go." He's like, "Where we going? We just got here." And of course she's yelling in Walmart at 10 o'clock at night. So everybody can hear this, by the way. You know there's not many people there that late at night.
Right.
"We gotta go." And he's like, "Okay." And he's not the type that's like overly loud. So he's like, "All right, I'm just gonna go." You know? So they're now running out of Walmart. And I know them people like, "Is they stealing something? Did they just steal something?" And so anywho, they take off and they get in the car. And my stepdad is just sitting there. And she's like, "Come on." He's like, "Where are we going? You haven't told me anything yet." And she's like, "Oh my God, I'm sorry." Like she is all the way in at UNC hospital right now. Her brain has already put her there. She hadn't told him anything other than let's go. And so this is still May 5th that I'm talking about. I ain't talked about how you had to get my grandma over to her house to take care of my youngest brother and my nephew. I haven't talked about how they had to call my pastor from his house in Pittsburgh, North Carolina, which is another, I don't know, 30 to 40 minutes away from the hospital at the wee hours of the morning, 1 a.m., 2 a.m., something like that. I haven't, like, everybody that was getting notified, this is early in the morning. And when I tell you it did not matter, people still got up out of their beds and came to that hospital.
100%. 'Cause they loved you,
People
right?
from the base came,
Hmm.
and they had to work the next morning.
Hmm.
And when I say work the next morning, I don't mean, we clock in at 8, 9 o'clock. 7 a.m. You better be getting in there. And so the the thing that I would love to preface here, and I only know these statements that I'm making is because of people who told them to me. My pastor said, "Key, by the time we got there," they call me Key or Kiwi, but my pastor says Key sometimes. He said, "Key, by the time we got there," which is him and his wife, "that lobby was full."
Oh, that's beautiful.
He said, "There were people standing up because there were no more seats."
Hmm.
And he said, "All of them were there for you." He said, "When I walked in there, I said, 'Oh, I'm going to have to lay down a strong one today.'" And he meant prayer. He's like, "I'm going to have to lay down a strong, because there are so many people depending on you to make it out of this.
Hmm.
I'm going to have to lay down a strong one today."
Hmm.
And he also said that even when he started praying, he said the staff members came over there to be a part of that prayer.
Beautiful.
People standing and touching in agreement that I was going to make it out of that thing, because all the doctors would count me out. That's why so many people were there. They were like, "Y'all might want to call everybody because I don't think he's going to make it too much longer."
Hmm.
I was hooked up to everything you can think of.
What were was the extent of your injuries? A lot. I know.
Head to toe. That's what they were. Head to toe. So literally they had to cut my head open from ear across the top to ear because my brain was swole. So to relieve the swelling, they opened me up, Because I had a lot of frontal damage in the skull fracture, and my right eye was popped out because the bottom portion of the eyelid was torn off. I don't know how. Of course, I'm blind, so there's a lot of damage and scarring to that. I have damaged blood vessels in my left eye, so I see nothing. My right eye, I can see a little bit of light perception, but I can't see anything other than that.
Oh,
Just
we're good.
light, and it's got to be really, really bright. So like sunlight or that super annoying light they put in your eye at the eye doctor. That's
Right,
all I
right.
can see. I had reconstructive surgery done to my to restructure my face. So I have 2 metal plates in my head. You see this little scar or line right here?
Yeah, yeah.
That's what a metal plate is.
Okay.
Yeah. And so let's see where else. I broke my jaw. We kind of talked about the dental thing. Broke my jaw. So they wired it shut um, to keep me from messing it up whenever if I ever were to wake up and start talking. So to keep me from doing that, they just wired it shut. Uh, I have a bunch of chipped and cracked teeth, and even some knocked loose on my right side of my face. I had to have 3 root canals because it like deadened the teeth somehow. I don't know what happened.
It
Uh,
probably the trauma killed the
yeah,
nerve.
killed the nerve. That's what it's called. Yeah, killing the nerve.
Yeah.
So I had to have 3 root canals on 3 different teeth. I'm like, hey, you said 1. Next thing I know, they're still drilling. I'm like, what the heck is going on here? But anyway, um, what else? Uh,
You're back, right?
so that's just the head. Okay. That's all. That's just my head. Moving down my back, 2 rods and 12 screws from L4 to T2, just above where paralyzation is,
Whoa.
just above where paralyzation is. Tell me God isn't good.
Yeah.
And because that would have paralyzed me from the waist down.
Oof.
Yeah. No, that scar is long on my back. It's long. I touch it all the time. Like when I'm in the shower or leaving the gym, I
Mm.
touch it just to remind myself you're doing something.
Yeah. Oof.
Uh, my right leg, I broke my femur, which is the largest and the hardest bone in your body to break.
Mm.
But I try to. I'm an
You're an
overachiever.
overachiever.
I'm an overachiever. I got to do it all. You know. So I broke that, and I'm pretty sure that's a metal rod. If it's not, what a miracle. But it was a compound fracture, which means it did come out the back of my leg. Yeah. So that's a compound. The shin, which is your tibia on my left leg, is a metal rod. So literally from my knee all the way down to my ankle is a metal titanium rod. My fibia on my right leg, I believe it is, was fractured, but I don't think they had to remove it. I do know I have a metal screw in my right foot though. I can feel it right now as I'm lifting my foot up, and it's at like I don't know how to really put it, but if I could show you my foot, I'd point to it. But and also, uh, I have 2 different size feet. So
That's
call
fun.
so just call me Bozo the Clown. So, my left foot is still the same that it was before, which was a size 10. My right foot is now an 11 wide.
Oh.
Not just an 11, but wide. So, I have to wear 2 different size shoes, and I get thankfully, this is all under, my military retirement. So podiatry, my podiatrist was able to, get me some new shoes. I have one that's literally special made, and the sole, the insole is literally form fitting to my foot. It is the actual mold of my foot. Yeah, all the way down to the pinky toe.
Well,
All the
I
way down
mean,
to the pinky toe. So
that sounds a lot better than buying 2 pairs of shoes, right?
listen, I was spending $200 a pop
Mm.
plus on shoes to getting Brooks, getting these Nikes, I'm talking about any kind of shoe that would possibly be comfortable. None of them were working. My foot would eventually go numb. My left foot doing just fine. It's like, I don't know what his problem is. That's basically what I don't know what his problem is, but you need to get him checked out, man. You know what I'm saying? Like that's literally what it was. And so, yeah, the only thing that was not operated on were my arms. I mean, the closest thing to the operation of my arms was my collarbone area. Uh, Not that I broke it, but they did skin grafting to repair my eyelid. So they took skin from right here to repair my eyelid that was torn off. So that's the closest thing that was like surgically to my arms. I do have trigger finger in this left hand, so this index finger. So if you see me cracking it, that's the only reason. It relieves it.
Hey everybody, just real quick, interrupting Kijuan's episode. Isn't he amazing? I just love his joy for life. To remind you about this awesome package that I have here. This is the sampler pack that comes with 7 of our top selling drinks, from collagen to protein to blood sugar balance to GLP-1 to a greens drink. We have it all: allergies, asthma, sleep, energy, digestion, you name it. You get 7 drinks. It comes with this little explanation so that you know what you're trying, and it comes with that $15 off coupon, so it's virtually free, and then you get to pick the ones that you felt the difference with, and go to the website, use that $15 off coupon code to continue with whatever your favorites are. So go check that out, and let's hop right back into the episode. So that brings up a part of the book that I just could not shake.
Mm,
And it was the moment when, so it was June 6th, I'm thinking,
yeah. Okay.
the moment when you start to wake up out of
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
and like, I am more anxiety prone. And so I'm putting myself in your shoes.
Okay.
You're waking up, you don't really know what's going on, and you try to open your eyes because you don't know yet that you're blind. And then you try to say something and they had wired your mouth shut. And as I'm reading it, my heart is starting to race, and just imagining, like, oh my gosh, like, I can't see, I can't see, I can't see, I can't talk, I can't see, I can't talk. And, but that wasn't really your experience. Like, you talked about how God, like, almost put like this peace over you. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Well, that was my experience on that day. June the 6th,
Mm,
that was it. I hit the
okay.
panic button.
Yeah,
I
I would
hit the panic button
imagine.
that day. But the peace came later.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about that.
So that was like, so after my mom told me what happened, the accident,
Mhm.
um, then I just kind of sat with my thoughts. Like, how the freak? Well, actually, it was before, when I was sitting with my thoughts, that was before she told me what happened, because I thought it was me. I thought it was my fault. This accident was all my fault. It's like, what did I do? I don't usually ride crazy. I'm not a crazy rider. The worst thing that that I ride with, other riders that I ride with, the worst thing they say I do is take corners. Like I'm pretty. I like to lean. I've always liked to lean. Even when I used to ride bikes as a kid, I love to get low. And so they like, man, you be taking them corners. I'm like, well, if nothing's in the road, I'm gone, man. you know, and so uh, that's the craziest thing I used to do. I have never done a wheelie except for on a bicycle. I have never did a stoppie. I don't know if you know what that is. You do?
I mean, I have the idea.
Stoppie is where, like I told you, you lock that front brake up
Right.
and you hold the bike up in the air and then you drop back down. That's a
Yeah.
stoppie. I've never done that. I've never done a burnout. None of it. But yet, here I am. It's interesting that you say that, because, or bring this up, because everybody, when they would see me post a picture of me with my bike, they're like, man, please be careful on that bike. I'm like, I'm not the one you got to worry about. It's everybody else around me. I am the one who's careful. And so now getting back to the peace. After I have talked to God like he is not the man, hey man, why in the world would you let this happen to me? Because as you know, as believers, God allows things to happen to you. I said, why would you let this happen to me? I am not looking for a Job experience. I read about it. I don't need it. I don't need it. I read about it. I was like, come on, man. And so, listen, you know how God is. God's going to talk to you just like he's your father.
Because yes.
Exactly. Just
Mhm.
like he's your father. He's like, are you done yet? Talking to me like you're crazy. If I didn't know you could handle this, why would I put you through it? And then he starts to reveal all this stuff to me. Kristen, as you can see behind me, I got a piano and a drum set,
Right.
and
Right.
I can play both of
And that was the other part of your book that got to me
them.
when you mentioned, you played drums in church and played drums for fun, and before you were blind, you would often play with your eyes closed.
Exactly. That's
And
exactly what he was bringing to my attention.
oh my gosh, that hit
Yeah.
me like a ton of bricks, and I was like,
Man,
"God is
listen.
so good."
Exactly. He will put things in perspective as long as you allow him to. You have to be silent in order to hear God. But at the moment you start talking, and this doesn't mean you have to be talking out loud. And you can talk to yourself in your head. A lot of people do it. When you are talking, you're talking over him now. Be still and know that I am God, is what he says in his word. Be still and know that I am God. If you're moving, guess what? You're not focused on him.
Whew, that's good.
And so when I'm laying in that hospital bed, I ain't got no choice but to be still. Cause I can't get myself out of the bed. I can't. Like I physically could not. I am at a point where I'm bedridden for a while. Maybe I think that first 2 weeks because all the surgeries. I mean, I literally was at a people. The physical therapists were coming in there moving my legs for me to keep them mobile and fluid. My right foot, due to the accident, I told you that's the one that's bigger than the other one, was literally fixed. It almost didn't want to flex upward. You know how you stretch your foot up? I forget the flexion they call it, but when you pick your foot up, it goes in an upward motion. My foot wouldn't do that. My foot stayed down. I used to walk on the ball of my foot.
Ooh, ouch.
I didn't have a choice. It didn't
Right.
hurt. It
No?
didn't even hurt. I just didn't have a choice. My calf muscle was so strong, and it's bigger than the other one now because of it. My right calf is bigger than the left because of that. Yeah. And and so I can now flex it up because of physical therapy. So things can be done as long as you're willing to put the work in. God told me and showed me. He's like, this is not the end. I just need you to do what? Trust me.
Well,
Yeah,
that I love how you say that because it's so hard to do.
it is. It's not easy. Trust me.
Yeah.
Look, trust me. It's not easy. So, yeah, I just had to listen and be obedient,
Yeah.
you know?
But it wasn't and that's the other thing. So we talked a little bit before we started recording and, kind of going into the mental health realm of things,
Yeah.
anxiety. And for you, it was more depression. And so, growing up in the church, a lot of times people are like, well, if you truly believed, you wouldn't be struggling with these things, or you should find these solutions like in the Bible or in praying or, whatever. And I think that's a giant disservice. And you talked about that as well, um, with your struggle with depression.
Yeah. Absolutely. I still do mental therapy to today. So that book was published in it was published in June of 2021, but of course the accident, like I said, May 5th, 2017. I believe somewhere around uh August, maybe September-ish. I was having those really bad depression thoughts. And again, that's 2017. So over 7 years ago, I'm starting to have these thoughts for more reasons than one. Okay. I'm I think the hardest thing about this was waking up literally without sight. Now, if I could have lost it gradually, I think it would have been better. I think it would have been better. But I just went with what the hand I was dealt with and said, "Hey, man, we got to deal with this." Um, and the thing about it is, I was so highly active, not just in the military. I was in, doing the reserves, flying all over. I've seen 4 continents. I was flying all over the place. Had my own job or business, excuse me. Was going to school full time to get my degree. Uh, sh- I mean, had a I was in a relationship, and hear me, I said was.
Was, right?
That was what really kicked it. That's what really
Was.
kicked the bucket right there. Like literally made it spill over the relationship thing because I'm sure you're familiar with the term. I was ghosted.
Mm, that's harsh. Yeah.
Harsh. She, she literally changed her number.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Not just a block, a phone number change. How do I know this? Because I reached out to the number and they were like, "Who are you looking for? Haven't you
Mm.
noticed I haven't been responding?" And
Oh,
I'm like,
man.
"Yeah, but I just thought, maybe you were busy or something." And I told them who I was looking for. They was like, "That I don't even know who that is."
Mm.
I was like, "What?" Like, "What do you mean you don't know who that is?" Like, I hope it's you. You know what I mean? So, oh my God. Um, that was so at the time, was so hurtful. But see, if we stay there, we don't grow. If I would have stayed in that moment, I don't grow. If I would have stayed in that moment, I might not even be talking to you right now. And I mean that in every way because you read the book. There is a title called Suicidal Thoughts. And so when I was able to move forward, I was of course getting back into church when I could physically go, going to Bible study. And one night, the Bible study topic was about forgiveness. Yeah. And when I tell you that helped me, not in just that relationship, it helped me with people that kept asking me for money and I was hoping they were going to pay me back and they never did. It was helping me with people who said they were going to come see me and they never did. Like, oh my gosh, this forgiveness thing is not for them. It's for you.
Yes. So true.
Yeah.
It's so true in all of our lives.
Hmm.
Like if you're angry at someone and you're harboring that anger towards them, forgiving them is for you because anger makes you really sick.
Ooh.
It makes you so sick physically, mentally. If you're angry, let it go. If there's
Yeah.
something that someone did to you, the forgiveness is not for that person. Well, there's a lot of people that we're going to forgive in
Hmm.
our lifetimes that are
Yeah.
never gonna ask for it. They're never gonna acknowledge it. They're never even going to maybe know, but we do.
That's quite funny you say that because somebody did that to me one day. They're like, "Hey man, I hope you can forgive me." I said, "Man, I forgave you a long time ago." And they were like, "What?" Like, it's always that same response, though. Wait, what? You forgave me a long time ago. Dude, you don't even understand the path I walk. It has nothing to do with you. In order for me to continue my growth in my faith walk, I have to forgive you. Because I can't walk with God if I don't. I can't see those footprints that Jesus is leaving if I don't. That path that they talk about, that narrow path, it's narrow for a reason. And so when my chapter in the book called Hurt, Heal, Let It Go, that's what it was talking about.
Do you remember what chapter that is? So I can look
I
at
do
it.
not. It's closer towards the end. But
Oh,
that's
here,
what it
yeah.
was. Yeah, that's what it was speaking about in regards to the dealing with the people that hurt you. It's okay to be hurt. It's okay. But at some point you have to heal. Find what you're looking for in healing. I had to go through mental therapy for that. There might be physical therapy. I had to do that too for healing. You know, there's different methods of healing, but if all you gonna sit there and say is, yeah, you know, just go to church, you'll be all right.
Right.
Hey,
Just read your Bible and pray.
Yes, that's not gonna work for everybody. And that's probably why a lot of people are still hurt until today. Because that's all they do. Well, I'm just gonna keep going to church and maybe I'll get my fix one day.
Right.
Let me do that in air quotes. My fix one day. You know? And I'm like, no, that's not cool. We need to understand that there are methods of being healed in different formats. God put these things here for us. And that's what we tend to forget. Just because and I can use this reference because they're my family. I never got the chance to meet my great uncle. Now hear me clearly. Was a pastor. Okay? Never got the chance to meet him because he didn't like going to the doctor. Didn't believe in that. What do you mean? We have to get out of our own way. Because that's generally what it is. I got to tell you this quick story and then I'll leave it alone. There's a story that goes a little something like this. There's a man out there in the water, middle of the ocean, and he's stranded. One man raft, and a little small boat comes by where it can fit two people on it. And he's, hey, sir, you need some help? And he's like, oh, no, you go ahead. I'm waiting on God to come through and he's going to save me. He's like, oh, okay. Have a good day. Couple of hours later, here comes a boat a little bit bigger. Probably could fit about 6 to 8 people on it. Hey, you over there, you need some help? He's like, oh, no, I'm fine. Just waiting on God. He's going to save me. All right, we're going on. And here comes this big old boat. Really big one. Could fit him and plus some more. And they stop and they're like, hey, man, you need some help? We can send a small boat out to you. No, I'm good. God's going to save me. I'll be okay. If you say so, bud. They gone. Well, he dies out there on that raft. He died. And then he gets to those pearly gates and he's upset. And he says, God, you should have saved me. I was praying and I thought you would say, he said, I sent you 3 boats and you didn't take one. If we get out of our own way. And so that's all I have to say on that subject.
It's so powerful. That's so powerful. And I like both analogies of the physical and mental health,
Mhm.
you know. because your great uncle, not wanting to see a doctor.
Yeah.
So what I do for a living is more the holistic wellness, like the natural health, whatever.
Mhm.
And I do run into that from time to time where people are like, I don't see doctors. I take, herbs and plants and whatever. And I'm like, Lord, help me. Please go to the doctor. Like, we can do both,
Yeah. Yeah.
and same with mental health. Like, please go to church. Please read your Bible, but please also take advantage because God gave us all of it,
Mhm.
all of it. So let's pivot here a second. So, as I said earlier, one of the points in your book that just really ripped my heart open was the moment you woke up from the coma. And I underlined in the book, I love this, what you said. You said, you'll never get anywhere if you don't start, even if it's something as small as asking someone what the plan is. So then after that, you started the recovery process. And I liked what you wrote about. Then I had to relearn personal hygiene. And I guess you don't really think about that. And you talked about learning how to put toothpaste on a toothbrush, learning how to take a shower. Then later on in your recovery, it was learning how to cook. How do you put spices on foods if you can't, see? And as you and I talk, through email and stuff like that, I'm like, how the heck is he reading these emails? you know, and you forget, like, even, we were joking earlier, because I had just gotten back from the dentist and I joked with you and I said, well, I'd show you, but I can't, like, there's like little things like
You can try.
you could try. And I love, and I told him earlier, like, I just appreciate that we were able to like kind of giggle about that. And
Mhm.
so you had to relearn everything. Not only physically, you had to relearn how to walk and get out of bed and stuff like that. But then also the other physical end of it is you had to learn how to do things as a blind man.
Mm.
Okay, talk us through some of that.
Well, as you've already brought up, the personal hygiene stuff, cool, that we see ourselves, in the mirror when you can see. When you can't see yourself in the mirror, okay, I'm used to having a certain look. How do I get that look if I can't see it? Here comes the new look. And I just I've become so, I wouldn't say touchy-feely, but I guess you could say that in a sense. My sense of touch is very heightened, or sensitive, shall I say. And I'll go to touch my hair and things like that. Yeah, okay, yeah, I like that. I like that. Oh, this is out of place. Things like that. I do that. I do style my own hair. I do shave my face. Nobody does that for me.
But
I
even
learned all
things
that for
like
myself.
getting dressed, picking out your
Yep,
shoes.
yep. I have the military was probably the best thing that ever happened to me for this.
Hmm.
Why do I say that? They show you how to organize a closet.
Oh,
So the first when you're in boot camp, you got this thing called a wall locker, and it better not be all thrown together. Like you just threw stuff in there. Oh no, no. This is probably the neatest thing you're gonna see. This is probably the neatest thing you're gonna see. Or it will be thrown together. And what I mean by that is that MTI is gonna come in there and he's gonna tear it all to pieces, and you're gonna have to wake up in the middle of the night and fix it without disturbing everybody else. There are 45 to 60 people sleeping in this bay, and you're telling me not to disturb anybody else? It's not like we're all closed in our own rooms. This has got laying less than 3 feet away from me.
yeah, that's true. Yeah,
You
right.
know what I mean? And so, um, what I'm getting at is at the top of my closet are all of my shoes. I can go grab whatever shoe. I know exactly where it is right now. If you ask me to go get a certain shoe right now, I can go get it and know exactly where it is because I put it in the same exact spot every single time. This, I'm sorry, I gotta go on for a little tangent. This is also why I don't like when people are like, "Where did I put? What did I do?" Oh my God, where's this? I'm like, if you put it back in the same spot that you put it last time, you wouldn't be looking for it. You would just go right back to that same spot.
I'm laughing because, like, I don't ever put anything in the same spot.
Exactly. But that if even before, so of course, before the accident, listen, if you came in my house or my apartment, you would have seen every single day where my keys were, where my wallet was, where my phone was if I didn't have it, and what else did I carry on me? Uh, well, I would put that back in my wallet, so I guess you wouldn't see that. I was gonna say my ID, but you would see all of that in the same exact spot on my dresser every day. Not on Wednesdays, not on Saturday, every day. When I put on my uniform, everything goes in the same exact spot. My hat is on the right pants leg. I have my wallet here, right here on my breast pocket, because when I use my right hand to go in and get my ID, so I can hand it out the window. I did everything for a specific reason, like everything. My phone was in my left pants leg because of the slot of how it was. It was a vertical zipper, so I put it in there and zip it right back up. There was every single thing I did was for a reason.
So just like playing the drums with your
Yeah.
eyes closed,
Uh-huh.
God put you in the military because he had already written your story.
Oh yeah. Well, he knows our story before we were formed in our mother's womb.
Right, right.
So yeah, absolutely. He knew where he was going with this. He was like, come on, man, I got this.
I got this covered.
Remember what I said earlier? You have to trust him.
Yeah, yeah,
He knows.
yeah. So that's how you find, your clothes and your
Yeah.
shoes and your
Well, I
stuff like
also
that.
use a device called a colorino.
What is that?
So the root word is color.
Right.
Colorino. I don't know where the eno comes from. Don't get don't get me going on that
Some
part.
clever marketer just put that on
Exactly.
there.
But the color part is what you're really focusing on here. You put it up to anything, any piece of clothing, such as like my shirt, which is black. It would if you put it up to that, it would say black. That's what it would say when you press the button. It would say black. It also has two buttons on it. The second button is to see if there's light anywhere in the room. It detects light for you. So if it's like at a low tone, it's like that means there's zero light in here. But when that thing gets to squilling, if I were to put it towards the window right here, that thing would be like really, really high because it's seeing so much light. Yeah. Oh no, it's cool. So
That's cool.
and so I can use it for all of that. I use it to pick my shirt. Like I go to church. So I actually, wear suits and stuff. I pick out my suits, my tie, my shirt, my socks. I make my socks even match.
Huh.
you
You're
know, I
probably
would
better dressed than some of the other people.
listen, when I tell you, I don't know if you've ever heard of GQ magazine, but when
Mhm.
I tell you everybody, boy, you ready to go into GQ. I said, as long as they make a blind edition, I'm ready.
Oh
I am
my gosh.
ready. So yeah.
So what about, like, cooking and eating and, you talked a little bit about having to feel your food and learning to, I can't remember what you said about, like, the spices and stuff like that.
So just think about anytime, even as you cook. I hope you do. And when you measure something, use the measuring. If they say a cup of this, get the cup. Okay, don't do a half cup. Don't do a third of a fourth. Get a cup. Okay, and then the other thing I do to make sure I'm not doing anything crazy is I will take that cup, scoop it in there, whatever I need, and brush the top smooth so that it's smooth across and make sure it's a legitimate cup. It's not more, it's not less. Dump it in there. Mix it. Don't just let it sit. Mix it in there. You don't want it to be too salty on one side or too nothing on the bottom. I want it to be just right. And then I get my next whatever I need to add and mix it in there. And then I go again. And so that's one way to do the spices or whatever you're putting in, ingredient wise. As far as one thing that I mentioned, I believe it was texture. When you cook eggs in the morning in a frying pan, not just like a omelet or over easy or, whatever you want to call it. When you actually scramble eggs, you got to feel that texture. So how do you do that? Okay, I'll show you. Really quick, I'm just going to tell you just like this. You hold that handle on that pan and you just keep slowly rotating in that yolk. Just keep slowly doing it. You'll feel it start to thicken up because it's cooking the whole time. Just because you're moving it does not mean it's not cooking. It's cooking because of the heat. The heat is what cooks it. So as I'm moving, I'm looking for a certain consistency. Okay, that texture. Okay, it's a little fluff. I like that fluff. I don't feel any more looseness. I think I'm getting to the spot what I want. And then you cook it for just a little bit longer, just to make sure. Because we don't want no salmonella. So if you feel like it's not enough, give it a couple of more seconds.
Yeah,
That's it.
true.
There's nothing wrong with that. Just like when it comes to cleaning dishes. How do I know it's clean? I can touch it all day long. Yeah, I think that's right. But another thing I can do is scrub the heck out of it until my hand hurts. You know what I mean? And so you just keep going over it. That's why you see people just lose themselves in washing dishes because they want that thing to be clean.
Right. And here comes the military again,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And
So
so
what about
yeah,
like technology? So like when
what
you and
about it?
I email back and forth, you have an
Uh-huh.
Instagram, you have a Facebook, you have all of these
Yeah,
things. And I'm like, okay, how's this working?
yeah. So
11 notifications. LinkedIn. Grouped. 18 minutes ago. LinkedIn. Heidi Delosier Friley and 3 others reacted to your post.
I have what they call assistive technology. What you're hearing is my voiceover. And so voiceover is what they call it on iPhone. What I'm doing on the computer here with you, which is a Windows PC, is called JAWS. That's the same, I guess you could call it similarity. It talks to me. You can't hear it because I have my headphones in. But whenever you're doing stuff, sometimes stuff talks. And I know you're doing something. I'm like, well, she did something to make this thing talk because I didn't do it. But you can't hear it because it's coming straight in my ear
Oh,
with the headphone. Now, if I didn't have the headphones on, it might bleed over into the mic. But
got it.
sometimes the mic does a good job of noise cancel, and you won't hear it. But if I just keep doing something, it's not gonna catch it. It's not gonna catch it. It's not the best thing in the world, but that's why I use headphones, so it won't pick it up. But yeah, what you hear is voiceover. I'll let you hear like the date and the time. I'll let you hear that part.
12:15 up. Wednesday, May 14th. 12:59 p.m.
So here it's Wednesday, May 14th, and it's 12:59 p.m. right now. So that's
12:59 p.m.
what I
11
use
notifications.
is voiceover
19 minutes ago.
for
That's
my
so
iPhone.
cool. So cool.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I remember when we scheduled the recording of this, use Alexa,
Mhm.
which is super helpful, I'm sure
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. I got that's my virtual assistant too. So yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, and that's one of the things I love about you is like you were telling me how you went skiing. And I
Oh
was like,
yeah.
okay, how does that work? You know?
Okay, so let me tell you something. I did
Huh.
not want to go skiing. And it's not because I won't say it's not because it's two reasons. I was a little nervous about that, not being able to see.
Yeah.
I think more so was not just not being able to see, but how my body would hold up.
Mm.
Because that's a tasking thing to do. I'm sure you understand that.
Yeah, we just
Skiing
went
is
skiing.
very tasking.
Yeah.
It's very tasking on the body.
Yeah.
And so that's one thing. But the second thing was, I don't like the cold. That's why I'm still in North Carolina. If I go anywhere, it's going south. I'm not going north. if I relocate. Okay. So, I don't like being cold. The coldest climate I was in Maine. I was in Bangor, Maine. And there's a base there, Air Force Reserve, I believe, base. And we just landed and we had to do refueling, like to gas up the plane while it's on the ground, to get ready for tomorrow. Well, they needed 3 people out there for that operation. We had 2 maintenance guys that were with us. Guess who you think the 3rd person was? The lowest ranking guy on the crew. Me. It
Right.
is, hear me clearly, it is 8 degrees outside.
Dude, I live in Chicago. We know all about 8-degree weather.
Yeah, I get it. I don't. I don't know anything about it. Thankfully, I had on long john. Well, no, did I have? I don't think I had on long johns that day. Did I might have. I know for sure I had on my bomber jacket.
Mm.
And I put on my gloves, and they were not the winter gloves. They were just the summer gloves. So they didn't hold any heat. And I'm sitting up there in the cockpit, freezing my butt off, watching this fuel panel. And I'm like, God, can you please hurry up? Like, where's the next truck? Because it took like, I don't know, 3-4 trucks to put that gas on. And I'm like, oh, where's the next truck? And so I'm sitting up there and somebody finally notices me. This is the last truck, the last fuel truck. He notices me up in the cockpit. And he's like, is somebody sitting up there in the cockpit, man? He was like, yeah. He was like, if he wants, he could come sit in the truck. It's heat on in there. Did you mean to tell me I could have been in that truck the whole time? I said, I'm fighting all y'all when I get off here. I'm fighting every last person except for that guy who's driving that truck. We fighting. and it was like, man, I was so ticked off. I couldn't really do any much, but at the time, because I was freezing, I was literally like shaking so bad, like to the point where, because that's what it does. Shivering actually warms you up. Is shaking your muscles to keep them warm. And so if you try to just play it cool and don't shiver, you're going to get colder. That's what people don't realize. They're trying to play it cool. Man, I'm going to shake my boot. I'm going to shake it all night, okay? And so it was just one of those that I was like, yo, this is not cool. And so, yeah. I know. I don't even know how I got on that.
Because you were talking about skiing. And I'm thinking
skiing.
about...
Here we go. So skiing, this is how it works with blind skiing. Same way you see I got these earpieces in. Well, they put a helmet on me, right? Because you should wear a helmet when you ski or snowboard. Some do, some don't.
I think you have to at most places.
I'm gonna wear one.
Yeah.
This one you probably had to because there were a lot of kids.
Mm-hmm.
There were a lot of kids where I was. It was Stowe, Vermont, Stowe, Vermont. And this was a really nice ski resort. So the prices of everything up there, I ain't want no parts. None. I didn't want any parts of that. Like the ski clothing that I have here in my closet that I bought from North Carolina, almost double.
Oh, I'm sure.
Up there. And so I'm so glad I bought this stuff down here. And they tell you that too. But anyway, they put this helmet on. And on my helmet, they had, I don't remember how they rigged this thing up, but it had an earpiece, like right over my left ear. I didn't have anything over the right ear, just the left one. But it also had a boom mic so that I can talk. Because I am paired to somebody, not connected, but I'm paired with somebody with this headset piece. So that they can hear me and I can hear them and talk. We both can communicate. This lady who is an instructor, I forget her name, but anyway, she was amazing. She took everything at the pace that I needed to go.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, to get comfortable coming down this slope.
So you weren't tied to anybody. You just
Nobody. The only thing I'm tied to is these 2 long skis. That's it. That is it. And so she is skiing, talking to me, and going down this slope backwards.
Oh, that's cool.
She was
That
going
is
down a ski
cool.
slope backwards. So it was so cool, man. But I tell you, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna need to stop for a second because my legs hurt. My quads is on fire.
Yeah, yeah.
Trying to do all that turning and now I could probably do a whole lot better because I've been working out for a while now, like over a year now. But,
Right.
I don't trying to do that turning and stuff. Oh man, it hurt. Hurt so
Oh,
bad.
yeah.
It really hurt. And
But
this was
it's
actually just last year, January of last year,
oh, that's cool.
when I did it. So,
That's just proof you can do a lot.
whatever you set your mind to.
Yeah. I'm not gonna let you fly an airplane, though. Not
Oh,
gonna
I'm doing it
happen.
one day.
No, you're not.
Yes. Yes. Listen, you might as well. The way these planes are, they can fly them freaking selves and land.
I don't
The
know
only thing
about
is, no, I'm telling you, I'm not like suggesting. I'm actually telling you they can because of now these airports like Newark that's having a lot of issues right now. Newark in New Jersey, that airport is so out of date. It's using 1990s technology, but these newer airports, there's so much technology on the ground that the airplane is talking to, that sucker would line just straight up with that runway
That's true. That's
by
true.
itself. And I'm not. This is autopilot engaged. As long as everything's dialed in,
Right, right,
it's money.
right. Well, I guess if somebody's listening and they are blind,
Mhm.
they can fly an airplane. I just don't wanna be a passenger.
You don't have to. And you know what's funny is if you go into a really thick, dense fog, like really thick, you're blind.
Yeah, you can't see anyway.
You're blind. The only
Yeah,
thing you're looking at is instruments. They're not able to look outside.
that's true. That's true.
And I speak from experience. I wasn't the pilot, but I speak from experience. I remember that was the scariest crap I'd ever seen. And we were getting ready to land. We could not see the runway at all. And so, man, when we finally broke through the fog, I was like, "Oh, thank you, Jesus."
Like, literally, thank you, Jesus.
Exactly. Oh, thank you, Jesus. Oh, God, you're so great. you know, you're so
Oh.
amazing. Oh,
Oh,
man.
yeah. We've all had those moments. Well, one last question for you.
Okay.
I mean, if somebody's listening and they're in the spot you're at, maybe they're not blind, but,
Uh-huh.
they're at that hopeless point. And, your company is Amey Motivation, so we
Uh-huh.
haven't really talked much about that at all, but, like, what is your goal? Like, what do you think God is using you to do now? And encourage those people who are in those dark places. Um, what would you say to them?
Well, first off, God has kept me here to continue helping others. I was already doing that. I just didn't know I was. Um, and so now he's showing it to me. He's revealing these things. We all think you need to be able to see something in order to realize it's real or believe it. I now know it to be true because of how I perceive it. As long as I can receive what God is giving me, I already know it's real. I, you don't see the wind to know that it's real. You feel it. You feel it. Hear me now. Hear that again. You don't need to see the wind to know that it's real. You feel it. I don't need to see God to know that he's real. I just need to feel him. Come on now. So if y'all haven't heard enough motivation from me, let me give you just a little bit more. Uh yes, my business is called Amey Motivation. I wouldn't be able to motivate you if I gave up on life because I almost did. So what I encourage each and every person anytime I talk to them, I don't care who you are, I don't care where you are in life. Never give up. We can all give up. That's the easy way out. But never give up. Keep fighting.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Well, Kijuan, you are a blessing. You
Thank you.
just keep on smiling and you keep on telling your story. And it's been an honor to have you here.
Mhm.
And we'll see you guys next week. Thanks.